What King Charles could never tell Princess Diana, until now. Imagine being part of a love triangle that was hidden, yet painfully public. King Charles and Princess Diana had one of the most scrutinized marriages in history, but there was always more to the story. Things King Charles could never bring himself to tell her. Now, decades later, he's finally breaking his silence. In this video, we're uncovering the confession King Charles had held onto for years. But why did he choose to keep this secret for so long? And what would have happened if Princess Diana had known? From royal protocols to personal heartbreak, this isn't just another chapter in their turbulent love story. It's a confession that could shift how we understand the royal family and everything Princess Diana stood for. Let's uncover the truth King Charles never wanted to admit, until now. Number 1. The origins of their union. King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage didn't begin with a fairy tale spark, but rather with a mix of tradition, expectation, and pressure. As a prince, King Charles was bound by strict royal standards, especially when it came to choosing a bride. Princess Diana checked many of the boxes. She came from a noble family, had a spotless reputation, and at least outwardly seemed willing to take on the heavy responsibilities of royal life. The royal family viewed her as a perfect match, but King Charles had lingering doubts. His connection with Princess Diana was faint compared to his attachment to Camilla. Still, pressure from his family, the public, and the need to produce heirs pushed him toward proposing. Their marriage began less as a romance and more as duty, a decision he later wrestled with. Number 2. King Charles' true feelings. At the start of their marriage, King Charles held back his true feelings about the relationship. While he cared for Princess Diana, he struggled with his genuine affection for Camilla, who'd been in his life for years. This internal conflict created a barrier between him and Princess Diana from the beginning. King Charles was torn between duty to the crown and his personal emotions, often trying to suppress his feelings. His heart wasn't fully in the marriage, which showed through the cracks over time. Even though he wanted the marriage to succeed publicly, in private he found it challenging to connect with Princess Diana emotionally. He later admitted that he couldn't ignore his conflicting feelings, even as he tried to make the marriage work for the sake of appearances. Number 3. Camilla's influence. Camilla was a constant presence in King Charles' life, even after his marriage to Princess Diana. Their bond went beyond friendship. She was his confidant and shared his passion and humor in ways Princess Diana couldn't. King Charles' relationship with Camilla created an underlying tension that affected his marriage. For Princess Diana, Camilla was a looming shadow, someone she knew she could never truly compete with. King Charles' reliance on Camilla as a source of emotional support strained his connection with Princess Diana, creating a distance neither could bridge. Princess Diana's discovery of Camilla's role in King Charles' life left her feeling betrayed, isolated, and inadequate. The influence of Camilla was a wound that festered throughout their marriage, one King Charles never truly addressed with Princess Diana, leading to resentment and heartbreak. Number 4. Unspoken emotions. Throughout their marriage, King Charles and Princess Diana struggled with unspoken emotions that only grew over time. King Charles often hid his feelings, trying to maintain a royal facade that left him emotionally closed off. Princess Diana, on the other hand, was more open and expressive, a trait that initially drew him to her, but later became a point of conflict. King Charles couldn't express the doubts and frustrations he felt, and as Princess Diana's popularity soared, his sense of isolation grew. Both had expectations for each other that were never fully communicated, leaving them in a cycle of misunderstanding. King Charles' inability to share his feelings only deepened the divide, leaving both him and Princess Diana to deal with their pain separately, with neither fully understanding the other. Number 5. The early red flags. Early in their marriage, King Charles noticed signs that his relationship with Princess Diana might not work. Differences in personality, values, and even communication styles became clear soon after their engagement. Princess Diana's vibrant, open nature was at odds with King Charles' reserved, introspective demeanor. Public appearances showcased their differences as Princess Diana drew attention with her warmth, while King Charles felt overshadowed and misunderstood. He saw hints of incompatibility but felt bound to his decision. hoping they could grow together with time. However, the pressure of royal life only intensified these differences, with King Charles recognizing that what he needed emotionally was very different from what Princess Diana could give. These early signs were ignored in the hopes that they'd fade, but they ultimately led to larger conflicts. Number 6. Private struggles. Behind the scenes, King Charles wrestled with intense personal struggles, from his public image to his mental health. The pressures of being the heir to the throne weighed heavily on him, and his marriage added a new layer of stress. His battle with his public persona, coupled with his private heartache, created a duality he struggled to reconcile. The royal family's emphasis on stoicism left him with few outlets for his emotions, forcing him to internalize his battles. His feelings for Camilla, combined with the public's adoration of Princess Diana, added to his inner turmoil. These struggles led him to feel increasingly isolated, as he couldn't find the support he needed within the confines of royal tradition, leaving him emotionally stretched thin. Number 7. Princess Diana's popularity. As Princess Diana's popularity grew, King Charles found himself living in her shadow, which took a toll on his self-esteem. Princess Diana's natural charm and empathy won the hearts of millions, making her a beloved figure worldwide. King Charles, however, felt he was losing his place in the public's eye, overshadowed by Princess Diana's charisma. This wasn't a feeling he could express openly. Admitting jealousy wasn't an option in the royal family, but privately, the difference in their public reception strained his relationship with her, fueling feelings of inadequacy. King Charles felt sidelined and often resented the media's portrayal of him as the stiff or unfeeling one. Princess Diana's popularity wasn't just an issue of public image. It became a wedge in their relationship, highlighting their differences even further. Number 8. Unmet expectations. King Charles and Princess Diana had very different expectations for each other and their marriage. King Charles hoped Princess Diana would naturally fit into his life, supporting his role as prince and eventually king. However, Princess Diana had her own expectations, seeking emotional intimacy and partnership, not just a royal title. King Charles saw himself as dedicated to duty, whereas Princess Diana wanted a more personal connection, leading to frustration on both sides. These unmet expectations created a sense of disappointment, as King Charles couldn't offer Princess Diana the warmth and closeness she craved. The divide between what they each wanted in a partner versus what they actually experienced grew over time, making it clear that their visions for the marriage were worlds apart. Number 9. His vision of monarchy. King Charles had a very specific vision for the monarchy, one that emphasized tradition, duty, and stability. In his mind, the royal family should be an enduring institution, almost untouched by public scrutiny or modern trends. Princess Diana, on the other hand, brought a fresh, compassionate approach, capturing the public's heart with her hands-on, relatable style. King Charles saw Princess Diana's unique way of connecting with people as a challenge to the traditional reserved image he thought the monarchy should maintain. He struggled to understand her need for openness and her push to modernize their roles. This difference in vision was a quiet but significant conflict, with King Charles feeling that Princess Diana's approach could ultimately undermine the monarchy's mystique. This clash left him feeling that they were moving in different directions, as her popularity hinted at a more personal, approachable monarchy that made him uncomfortable. Number 10. Pressures of tradition. King Charles was raised in a world where tradition was everything. This sense of duty shaped every part of his life, including his marriage. He felt bound by centuries-old customs and expectations, which meant upholding the family's image at any cost. His role as future king wasn't just a title. It was a lifelong duty that required self-sacrifice. King Charles saw himself as a protector of the monarchy, but this sense of obligation made it hard for him to bend or adapt, even when it came to his relationship with Princess Diana. She saw some of these traditions as restrictive and outdated, while he felt bound to honor them. This fundamental difference created a rift, as King Charles couldn't abandon the rules that defined him, but Princess Diana struggled to live within them. Number 11. The birth of Prince William. When Prince William was born, King Charles felt a mixture of joy and relief. As the father of a future king, he'd fulfilled a key duty expected of him. His sense of pride was evident, yet the responsibility weighed on him, knowing the intense life his son would inherit. For Princess Diana, William's birth was deeply emotional. She saw her children as her top priority and approached motherhood with devotion. King Charles admired this, but he felt pressure to prepare William for royal life in a way Princess Diana didn't always agree with. Their different approaches to parenting became apparent, with King Charles emphasizing discipline and duty, while Princess Diana prioritized warmth and connection. This moment set the stage for their differing parenting styles, adding another layer of complexity to their already strained marriage. Number 12. True reactions to the media. The media's interest in King Charles and Princess Diana's relationship was relentless. King Charles struggled to cope with the constant attention. Princess Diana's every move was celebrated, while King Charles was often portrayed as distant or unfeeling. He resented this portrayal, feeling that it wasn't an accurate reflection of who he was. The media's fascination with Princess Diana and their criticism of him took a toll on his self-image, leaving him feeling misunderstood and defensive. King Charles didn't express his frustration openly, as the royal family maintained a strict, never complain, never explain approach. But privately, he was deeply affected by the way their relationship was spun in the press. The media's focus on Princess Diana intensified his sense of isolation, as he felt he was competing with an idealized image of her that he could never live up to. Number 13. Feelings on Princess Diana's outspokenness. Princess Diana's willingness to speak openly about her personal struggles shocked King Charles and the royal family. Her candor broke with tradition and exposed cracks within the monarchy that had previously been kept hidden. While Princess Diana's openness earned her sympathy and support, King Charles felt it crossed a line. He believed that royal matters, especially personal issues, should remain private. Her openness was something he couldn't understand or accept, as he'd been raised to value discretion above all else. He saw her revelations as a threat to the monarchy's carefully curated image, while she saw them as necessary for her own well-being. This difference in perspective only deepened the rift between them, leaving King Charles feeling betrayed by Princess Diana's public honesty. Number 14. Conversations with Queen Elizabeth. King Charles often turned to his mother, Queen Elizabeth, for guidance during his marriage struggles. As the monarch and his mother, she was both a source of support and a figure of immense authority in his life. Their conversations about Princess Diana and his marriage were complex, as the Queen encouraged him to prioritize duty and maintain stability within the family. She sympathized with his challenges, but emphasized the importance of keeping the royal family's issues out of the public eye. King Charles felt torn, seeking his mother's approval and advice, but also feeling frustrated that her support came with an expectation to endure his struggles quietly. Queen Elizabeth's influence encouraged him to maintain appearances, even when it meant hiding his true feelings, deepening his sense of isolation within the marriage. Number 15. The infamous Camilla call. One of the most damaging moments in King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage was the leaked recording of an intimate phone call between King Charles and Camilla. Known as the Camillagate tapes, this scandal exposed the depth of his relationship with Camilla and humiliated Princess Diana publicly. King Charles' relationship with Camilla, already a sore spot, became a full-blown scandal that rocked the royal family. He was devastated by the leak, both for the harm it caused his reputation and for the pain it inflicted on Princess Diana. The scandal confirmed Princess Diana's suspicions about his feelings for Camilla, leading her to feel further betrayed and isolated. King Charles' failure to address this incident with Princess Diana deepened the rift between them, as it showed how far apart they'd grown in both trust and connection. Number 16. How Princess Diana's activism impacted him. Princess Diana's work as an activist transformed her from a royal figure to a humanitarian icon. Her hands-on approach to causes like AIDS awareness, landmine removal, and children's welfare resonated with the public and showcased a compassionate side of the monarchy that hadn't been seen for years. King Charles was supportive of her efforts, but he felt uncomfortable with how her activism often put the spotlight on her rather than on their joint responsibilities. While he respected her commitment, he couldn't ignore the fact that her popularity soared with each cause she championed, sometimes eclipsing his own work. King Charles' more reserved, traditional approach to philanthropy felt starkly different from Princess Diana's bold and emotional style. Her activism was a point of pride for her, but for King Charles, it highlighted the widening gap in their approaches to royal duty and public service. Number 17. The toll on his mental health. The pressures of his position, combined with his tumultuous marriage, took a significant toll on King Charles' mental health. Being constantly scrutinized and having to present a composed image weighed heavily on him. His personal life was unraveling, and he struggled to find a balance between his role as a prince and his personal happiness. King Charles felt isolated, unable to fully share his struggles with those around him due to the royal family's emphasis on keeping issues private. The constant need to appear put together left him feeling emotionally drained. His struggles with mental health were something he kept hidden, even as he tried to carry on with his royal duties. This ongoing battle left him in a state of constant internal conflict, as he grappled with his obligations and his need for personal peace. Number 18. The jealousy he couldn't hide. Princess Diana's natural charisma made her the people's princess, a title that only deepened King Charles' sense of inadequacy. Her ability to connect with the public was effortless, while King Charles often felt overlooked. His jealousy wasn't something he could easily admit, but it lingered just beneath the surface. While he respected Princess Diana's influence, he couldn't ignore the way her popularity overshadowed his work and contributions. This feeling of envy caused tension between them, as Princess Diana sensed his resentment but didn't fully understand it. King Charles felt trapped, as he couldn't openly express his jealousy without risking judgment from both the public and his family. This silent struggle left him feeling further isolated, amplifying the emotional distance between him and Princess Diana and solidifying the cracks in their marriage. Number 19. What he wanted from Princess Diana. King Charles hoped for a partnership that would support him in his role and share his commitment to tradition and duty. He wanted a companion who could understand the unique pressures of his position and navigate the complex world of royal life with him. Although Princess Diana tried to meet these expectations, her own personality and values often clashed with what King Charles hoped for. He desired a stable, predictable relationship, while Princess Diana's expressive and sometimes unpredictable nature made this difficult. In his view, Princess Diana's approach to life and public duty sometimes felt at odds with his own. His need for a supportive partner went unfulfilled as they grew apart, leaving King Charles feeling disconnected. This unmet desire for partnership contributed to his ongoing sense of loneliness and frustration within the marriage. Number 20. Hopes for a modern marriage. Initially, King Charles held on to a vision of a more modern royal marriage, hoping that he and Princess Diana could break from some of the strict royal traditions that had bound his family for generations. He wanted a relationship that felt authentic, even if it meant bending a few royal rules. However, the weight of the monarchy and public expectations made it challenging to realize this vision. Princess Diana's own expectations of marriage didn't always align with his, adding more tension to their relationship. King Charles' initial dream of a balanced, supportive marriage began to fade as they faced relentless media scrutiny and personal disagreements. His vision of a modern partnership remained unfulfilled, leaving him to wonder if his hopes had been unrealistic from the start or if the pressures of royal life had simply been too great. Number 21. How he coped with isolation. As King Charles' marriage to Princess Diana deteriorated, he often felt isolated, both emotionally and socially. The royal family's emphasis on silence and stoicism made it difficult for him to openly discuss his struggles. He turned inward, retreating to hobbies like painting and gardening as a form of escape. In addition, he leaned on a small circle of friends and confidants, including Camilla, for support, which in turn created further tension in his marriage. King Charles' isolation was something he rarely spoke about, as he felt obligated to uphold a strong, unbreakable image for the public and his family. This solitude left him feeling misunderstood and distanced from both Princess Diana and the rest of the world. His coping mechanisms provided some comfort, but they ultimately deepened the divide in his personal relationships. Number 22. Unfinished conversations. There were countless things King Charles never managed to say to Princess Diana, leaving him with regrets and unresolved feelings. Despite their differences, there were moments when he wished they could bridge the gap and discuss their issues openly. But the pressures of royal life and their incompatible communication styles meant many conversations were left unfinished. He may have wanted to explain his actions, express his frustrations, or even offer an apology, but the opportunity slipped by as their marriage crumbled. This lack of closure contributed to the lingering tension between them. The regret over what was left unsaid stayed with King Charles, and as he looked back, he realized how much he might have prevented if they'd only been able to openly communicate their feelings. Knowing what we know now, do you think things could have been different between them if King Charles had told Princess Diana the truth sooner? Imagine how the monarchy and maybe even the world might have shifted if he had. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're curious to hear what you think about this untold side of royal history. And hey, if this video got you hooked, make sure to like, share, and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!